Las Vegas, Nevada, home of the Mountain West Conference Tournament semifinal Friday, and a terrific matchup to begin our night. The 5 seed Boise State, the 1 seed New Mexico. Brackets coming through. New Mexico, the 1 seed, took down San Jose State yesterday. Boise State played a rugged game against the 4 seed San Diego State, won that game. Colorado State, pushed by Nevada, is through. And Utah State getting by UNLV on the Rebels' home floor. So it's 2 versus 3 later tonight, Colorado State and Utah State. We've got Boise State and New Mexico starting lineups. They met twice. They split 1-1. New Mexico won in Albuquerque. Boise State won in Boise. Hi, everybody. Rich Waltz, along with Dan Dickow. Evan Washburn will join us shortly. Here we are, Dan, semifinal night, and so much on the line. Boise State right now is last 4 in for Jerry Palm. New Mexico right now, regular season champs, feel safely in the NCAA tournament.
New Mexico's clearly safely in. Boise is a tournament team in my eyes, but they've had a couple hiccups along the way. This win would go a long way to improving their mood going into the weekend.
When New Mexico won in Albuquerque, they'd off to a great start. They buried Boise State early in the first half. When the Broncos won up in Boise, they used the shooting of their freshman Pearson Carmichael. His first start, he had 21 points. Degenhart had 32. Carmichael is starting here, and this is Donovan Dent. Double-double for Dent, and a 3 from the corner by Amsil.
If this is your first time watching New Mexico, get used to high pick and rolls with Donovan Dent, creating for himself, that time finding Amsil for a corner 3.
Omar Stanley getting the start for Boise State. Not necessarily a three-point threat. Bounces into the lane. Alvaro Cardenas, the Spaniard. Shot clock down. Degenhart sees it, got to get it up, and he gets it off and beats the clock and hits the shot.
They had a number of shots up against the shot clock buzzer yesterday against San Diego State. Most of them were behind the arc. That one, Degenhart getting all the way to the mid-range.
Terrific entry pass by Washington, and a bucket from Nelly Jr. Joseph. A foul and a free throw. That's a difficult entry from the top of the key.
Difficult entry is right, but a tremendous job from Junior Joseph is creating space and an angle on that seal. He has been a monster on the interior all season long. 16 double-doubles, including one yesterday.
And a 6-2 start for the defending tournament champs, New Mexico. Last year they had to win 4 games in 4 days. They did. A win yesterday. They've won 5 straight Mountain West tournament games. Cardenas doubled. Someone's open. It's Carmichael. And Pearson Carmichael misfires. True Washington. Tempo turned up.
Cardenas worried about Dent in the corner. The first priority has got to be stop the basketball. He doesn't. Washington waltzes into the lane for a layup.
Live ball turnovers and missed threes can really trigger New Mexico's break. Leon Rice talked about not having many of those in this game. Stanley, that's a tough take. And the rebound in New Mexico and off and running. High-tempo team. Washington transition 3. Missed it. Boise State will run if they get an opportunity. This feels like an opportunity, although Degenhart slows up.
Well, Boise State will run selectively, but New Mexico plays at one of the fastest paces in the entire country.
Andrew Meadow misfires on a 3. Cold shooting for Boise State to start. Just underway, first semifinal, Mountain West Conference. Donovan Dent is doubled. Finds Nelly Jr. Joseph, who's going to get free throws.
What a pass from Donovan Dent. Left hand, one-handed, no look. Finding Nelly Jr. Joseph. He wasn't quite ready on that catch. Luckily, he was able to corral it. He'll be at the line for 2.
Well, you better be ready when both of these point guards have the ball, because Donovan Dent and Alvaro Cardenas can find the smallest window to get you the basketball.
And they do it in different ways. Dent is very creative. Cardenas sees everything, but he's a lot more fundamentally sound in regards to creating angles through pivots and his footwork.
Omar Stanley had that foul. He's got 2. He sits down, and 2 Broncos off the bench. R.J. Keene has checked in. And Emmanuel Ubo as well. And this a 9-2 start, and the crowd revved up. There are more Lobo fans here than Bronco fans.
And New Mexico wants to pressure full court when they can, and when you have a made basket, or in particular a made free throw, that allows you to set up to do that.
Degenhart. Again, late clock. Cardenas turns the corner. Keene, a rare 3, and he hits it.
He was a spark off the bench yesterday. Doesn't score a whole heck of a lot. A rare corner 3, but his impact is felt on the defensive end of the floor.
He was a prolific high school scorer, but that's just the 6th 3 he's hit all year. Borovichinen. High rebound, battle for it. Washington, an easy shot, and he missed it. And a foul. Keene, diving on the pile, picks up his first personal.
Well, he had a number of cuts yesterday, picking up right where he left off. Degenhart goes on the floor, as does True Washington, but Keene, that's a foul.
Yeah, you wrap the arm around the neck. That's
foul? Pretty easy. That's a foul.
13th foul already on Boise State. No fouls yet on New Mexico. Nelly Jr. Joseph, first team all-conference. There's a lot of hardware on the floor right now. That's a steal. Cardenas goes under the bucket, protects his layup, and Junior Joseph could not get to it. That's a smart play by a smart player, Alvaro Cardenas.
Terrific job shielding the defender so he couldn't have it contested.
Amziel feeds the post. And right now, Nelly Jr. Joseph is having his way down low. He's got 7. The double comes quickly. Meadow in the corner, busts through one and scores. He took a shot right on the baseline, kept his balance, got the bucket. Amziel fires, hits. Goodness, his second.
A good sign for New Mexico, and Amziel has struggled a little bit since coming back from an injury. Big time 3 there.
Meadow. Keene with the rebound. Meadow wants another shot at it. Another baseline drive, and he's fouled. Borovichinen got a good piece of his shoulder. Breakneck speed, the start of this one. Already 5 minutes in. Not a lot of whistles, but a lot of action.
Game being played at New Mexico's pace. Got the crowd involved. But if you're Boise State and head coach Leon Rice, you've got to like the fact that the game is at New Mexico's pace, but you're keeping up in regards to keeping within striking distance.
Borovichinen right there. Well, looks like he got a good piece of the head.
Well, made a corner 3 to start things off, then was able to drive a closeout to a finish. This time gets fouled.
All right, let's, for the first time tonight, say hello to Evan Washburn. Evan.
Good to be with you guys as always. Talk about the pace. We were here yesterday for all 4 games, and look, they were all great games, but I think there was no doubt that Boise State-San Diego State game was different in terms of physicality and intensity. And it begs the question, how much do the Broncos have in the tank to be able to play this style of game? We spoke to the team today, and they laid out, yes, there was no shoot around. They spent most of their time in the hotel recovering, watching film. But, guys, this is a team riding that bubble wave. They do not want their season to end tonight, and they know that could be a reality. That's a powerful motivator in terms of energy as they try to keep pace with the Lobos.
All good points, Evan. New Mexico, on the other hand, was pushed a little bit by San Jose State. Richard Pitino wasn't incredibly happy with the way his team played, but he liked the way they were tough down the stretch. He was very happy with their physicality and grittiness, he said.
Well, they made big plays down the stretch, and a lot of it is because you got the player of the year in the conference, Donovan Dent, that you can rely upon, as well as Nelly Jr. Joseph, who was absolutely dominant yesterday. 14 points, 18 rebounds, 8 of those on the offensive end of the glass. So when they weren't clicking offensively, maybe the way they have been at different points of the year, Nelly Jr. Joseph seemed to just go get an offensive rebound.
And of course, what's at stake here? Obviously a trip to the championship game. But with all eyes on everybody's brackets, our Jerry Palm right now has Utah State a 9 seed in the tournament, and Boise State in the last 4 in. Of note for the Mountain West, San Diego State is also among the last 4 in for Jerry Palm. And we'll see Utah State later tonight. They're a 9 seed. New Mexico a 9 seed. So everybody's watching the brackets. And Boise State and New Mexico, all they talked about today at both practices were one more game in this tournament. Tyson Degenhart doesn't want the road to end here tonight. He's had such a great career. And Degenhart has a chance to become the all-time leading scorer in Boise State history tonight. He needs 18 in the game to break the record of the great Tanaka Beard. Meadows' free throw is good. Pair of free throws and a 4-point lead for New Mexico. 5 of 8 are the Lobos from the field. 4 of 8 are the Broncos. High-level stuff early on. Keene, Cardenas, Meadow.
Great extra pass from Cardenas. Meadows got to be able to knock that down. He's played really well as of late. Last 6 games, nearly 19 points a game for the sophomore.
C.J. Nolan on the floor for his first run for New Mexico. Dent driving. Boy, a lot of contact. That ball floated up, hit the very top of the backboard.
There was a lot of contact, but you touched on the Boise State, San Diego State game yesterday. That happened on every single possession.
That was a play on yesterday.
It was.
Meadow had a particularly good game yesterday. His physicality was a real bonus. Ubo with a little jump hook.
Wasn't able to quite catch it cleanly, but he was able to find some space in an angle after recovering that pass from Cardenas.
Dent, skip pass. Nolan, step back. It's short. Boise State is the best rebounding team in the Mountain West Conference, and they showed it yesterday in their win. They were plus 12 against San Diego State. That doesn't happen often against the Aztecs. Little push shot and a bucket, and just like that, the Broncos have tied the game at 15. Cardenas with a bucket.
The Broncos weathered that early emotional storm from New Mexico, 6-0 run, as mentioned, to tie it up.
Ubo with a block. Welcome to Las Vegas. The Thomas and Mack is bouncing right now. First semifinal matchup, the 5-seed Boise State, the 1-seed New Mexico. Rich Waltz, Dan Dickau, Evan Washburn, and a 17-15 lead by Boise State. New Mexico had a sizable lead, and the Broncos on a nice run. Kubota brings you on the court. Great point guards on the left side of your screen. Alvaro Cardenas and Donovan Dent. The last time they faced each other, they both had a double-double in points and assists. One factor, an advantage size-wise for New Mexico. Lower right corner, Dan Dickau. Nelly Jr. Joseph is a double-double machine.
16 double-doubles on the season. One of 10 players across the country to average a double-double. Yesterday, 14 points, 18 rebounds. 8 of those on the offensive end of the floor.
CJ Nolan, corner 3. Tempo-wise, New Mexico really goes. They average 82 points a game. One of the top tempo teams in the country. Boise State, more methodical, more defensive-minded. That's a held ball, and it stays with Boise State. And as expected, Richard Pitino said, we want to go fast. And Leon Rice of Boise State said, we'll go fast on occasion. We just don't want those guys to get downhill. And the coach of the year in the Mountain West, Richard Pitino. Last year's coach of the year in the Mountain West, Leon Rice.
A terrific chess match between these two coaches, but they've also got great point guards who are an extension of themselves, allowing them to accentuate the positives that they want to focus in on.
We'll see the brackets later on tonight. Utah State, Colorado State. Great pass by Cardenas and a miss by Buchanan. Donovan Dent, player of the year in the conference, whips it good for the dunk.
That was one heck of a pass from Donovan Dent.
Tiki Ali Atiki with a catch and slam. 17 apiece. Cardenas, Meadow in the corner. Fall away, high degree of difficulty. Maybe not the shot Leon Rice wanted.
But great defense from Borovichinen.
Dent weaving his way through. Oh, Dent missed it. Buchanan with a rebound.
He is a terrific finisher. Couldn't get the roll that time, but it reminds me a lot of Rod Strickland, former DePaul great and longtime NBA player.
Ubo a 3, and he missed it. Inside position. Meadow lost the ball and his glasses. 17-17. For those of you watching our free streaming coverage, it'll conclude after the commercial break, but we'll continue on CBS Sports Network. You can find us by going to the CBSSportsNetwork.com/channel finder. Underway, Tiki Ale Atiki. You're watching Bracket Week, presented by Kubota. 9 minutes into this Mountain West semifinal, 17 apiece, Boise State and New Mexico. Rich Waltz along with the All-American out of Gonzaga. Dan Dickau, Evan Washburn joins us shortly. Hey, look, they split in the regular season, different styles, but a really even matchup.
Yeah, it's been terrific so far. Boise State maybe playing a little faster than traditionally they want to, but it's forced by New Mexico being so good of getting teams to play at their style. So far, this has been an entertaining game.
Entertaining for sure. Moments ago, Evan Washburn caught up with Richard Pitino.
Coach, in this style of game, back and forth, what's going to create some separation?
Well, it's been pretty entertaining.
Sure.
You know, I think we're both playing at a fast pace right now. We're doing a good job of rebounding the basketball. We're missing a couple down there, but they're also really running some really good offense.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right. A lot at stake here. Obviously, it's a semifinal game of a conference tournament. But all four teams you're going to see tonight have tournament hopes. Feels like New Mexico is in. Jerry Palm has them as a 9 seed. They beat UCLA. That's their best win. And they have dominated this tournament since the start of last year. They had to win 4 games in 4 nights last year to get into the NCAA tournament, to win this tournament. So they've won 5 conference tournament games in a row. Braden Applehans and Tiki Ala Tiki.
Well, they lost him with all the switching defensively. Atiki now with 2 monster dunks, only averages 2 points a game on the season in limited appearances.
Pearson Carmichael in the game. He was a difference maker in Boise's win against New Mexico in Boise. The freshman got his first start, had 21 points, 4 threes. And that's him right now with Dent shadowing. Shot clock's down. He's going to have to launch. He does on the move. Oh, in and out. Ali Atiki with the rebound. Dent in full go mode. Borovicinen with a 3.
Well, that's created by Donovan Dent, pushing in transition, getting to the paint, collapsing that entire defense. Borovicinen, the recipient of that pass because he's wide open.
Cardenas finds Carmichael again. Missed it. Keene has the rebound, and he's blasted by Ali Atiki, and he'll get free throws. So we've seen Carmichael take a couple threes. One almost went down. One hit nothing.
Well, for a freshman who had his redshirt pulled halfway through the year, you're going to expect some ups and downs. 21 points in the first matchup you mentioned, but I love the fact that he hunts shots such as that last one.
Jersey Mike's proud title sponsor of the Naismith Men's Player of the Year Award. Join us over Final Four weekend as we highlight this year's winners right here on CBS Sports Network. Much to the delight of the many Lobo fans in here, Keene misfired on his first free throw, and he misses them both. Dent. Around the screen. Ball's loose, and it's off of New Mexico. Boise State has the ball. Okay, so here's what's at stake for all these teams you're going to see tonight, right? Boise State and San Diego State are on the last 4 in line for Jerry Palm as of today. Colorado State has appeared on the first 4 out. So they certainly have to win tonight and possibly have to win tomorrow to get into the tournament. And obviously you didn't see Utah State or New Mexico. Jerry Palm has them right now as a 9 seed.
Well, the thing you got to like, if you're a Boise State fan, is the fact that Indiana lost yesterday, Carolina lost today, giving them a little bit more of an added boost in regards to the selection committee's decisions. But terrific pass once again from Cardenas. Ubo not able to finish. Knocks down his first, where he's got one more.
There's some nice minutes by Tiki Ali Atiki, the senior, the transfer from BYU. Ubo a couple free throws and a 3-point game. Nelly Jr. Joseph gets in and scores. Man, when you can have a big come off the bench like Ali Atiki, giving a rest to an all-conference first-teamer and get production, that's pretty sweet for Richard Pitino.
Well, that's all you need. A couple different breaks throughout the game, maybe 2-minute breaks here or there to keep Junior Joseph fresh. But that's why those 2 quick fouls on Stanley were impactful, because Ubo, he's got the physical width and the strength, but he's not very long like Stanley.
That's a long 3 by Degenhart, and he missed it. Degenhart had 32, a career high, against New Mexico in Boise's win at home. 9-2 run right now by the Lobos. Dent Borovicinen. Ball kept alive. 20 back on the shot clock. Dent against the freshman, falling away, and he missed everything. Long rebound. Carmichael against Dent. Carmichael strong. That's goaltending. And a bucket. And a timeout. A rare breakout for Boise State.
Carmichael tracks it down, attacks the rim. Borovicinen with the goaltend. You're watching Bracket Week, presented by Kubota.
Welcome back to Vegas, Coach, as you guys trade punches here. What do you want to see in the next 4-minute stretch?
Well, we got to break through their pressure, and when we do, we get the ball moving. We're pretty good, and we're getting good shots. A couple of our threes, we got a pretty good looks. We got to get into our stuff quicker, though. We're up against the shot clock a little too much.
How do you feel about the pace of this game? That was a big discussion coming into it.
That's great. I mean, it's a discussion for you guys, but we want to go fast against them. Some of our best buckets we can get in transition. That's what but we got to get stops to do it.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Okay, Boise State, last 4 in as of today from Jerry Palm. They certainly helped themselves with a rugged win over San Diego State yesterday. Their best wins, those are good ones, St. Mary's and Clemson. Their worst loss, that was on a neutral site in a tournament setting on a last-second shot by Boston College, and it still stings.
I don't think nationally people realize how good that St. Mary's win really was. They swept Gonzaga in the West Coast Conference before losing them in the title game. They are a physical, tough ball club that can really defend.
True Washington turned away. And Degenhart has a rebound. 3-point New Mexico lead. Degenhart steps through the double. Meadow down the lane. He walks.
Missed an open Carmichael with one extra pass. Did Meadow. Nobody within probably 10 feet of Carmichael there. That's one thing with Meadow, is he is a straight line driver. He sees the front of the rim, that's where he goes. Rarely does he deviate from what his first option is.
Amseal's hit 2 threes already. Mustafa turning. That's a difficult shot. Broncos the best rebounding team in this conference. Almost +8. When they showed it against San Diego State, they were +12. That's Peanut, his nickname, and he misses. So he's 0 for 3, and he was the factor that really stretched the defense in Boise State's win against New Mexico with his 3-point shooting. Good help by Cardenas, and it stays with New Mexico.
Well, Cardenas has been everywhere today. His scoring doesn't jump out at you with only 4 points, but 3 assists. Could have been a number more. That time, a terrific job of anticipating Junior Joseph spinning back.
New Mexico 17-3 in the Mountain West, and the #1 seed in this tournament. True Washington spins into a crowd and gets fouled. Kind of an unsung hero is this guy. Honorable mention in the Mountain West Conference. Donovan Dent was the player of the year, and rightfully so. But True Washington can play. Omar Stanley, the foul, his 3rd. Our player profile brought to you by Reese's. Nelly Junior Joseph in the low blocks, underappreciated nationally. Double-double machine. 14 points, 11 rebounds. Yesterday, 14 points, 18 rebounds.
There were quite a few more that he was around, just wasn't able to corral. They don't rebound necessarily great as a team like a Boise State does, but he picks up a ton of the slack for New Mexico.
Bowie in a little bit of distress there. Shot clock at 10.
This is where Boise State can struggle at times. And Cardenas goes on the bench. Bowie not a traditional point guard, able to get you into stuff quickly.
This is a take-your-lunch team in New Mexico. Yeah, they have pressure. but they steal the ball from you. They're one of the best in the country at it. Nelly Jr. Joseph. I don't know that this is an official stat, but I believe he's the only NCAA player to have played for both Patinos.
You're probably right.
At Iona, and then here at Boise State. And of course, Rick was at Iona, Big East Coach of the Year this year, and his son Richard is the Mountain West Coach of the Year. First time a father-son have been Coaches of the Year in a conference in the same year. Oh, Junior Joseph had it knocked away by Emmanuel Ubo.
What a reaction from Ubo.
Carmichael 0 of 4 from distance right now. And Ubo trying to penetrate, loses it again. Amsiel open. And Carmichael over the back.
Terrific reaction from Ubo to get back into the play. And then a terrific pass from Dotson to even get that ball to Nelly Jr. Joseph before the block.
Carmichael comes out. He and Degenhart had sandwiched Nelly Jr. Joseph, and the foul has been given to Degenhart. We'll double check that after the timeout. We're back in 30. Mountain West semifinal, game number 1. New Mexico, Boise State, Utah State, Colorado State later tonight right here on CBS Sports Network. Coming up, AT&T at the half. Obviously, one of the busiest days of the year in college basketball. So Brent Stover and everybody ready to go. It's coming up with AT&T at the half. Here in Las Vegas, traditionally one of the best conference tournaments. True Washington kicks. Jovan Milicevic in off the bench for the first time for New Mexico. There goes Dent. Difficult shot. Rebounds are even right now, 15 apiece. Cardenas kicks. Ubo. Got a freshman in Julian Bowie on there right now. Degenhart trying to get a lane, and he ran right in to Milicevic. Washington down the lane, missed the dunk. And he's down. And they're going to call a foul. That's a late whistle.
Oh, that is not a good call from the official. Boise State initially dodged a bullet because Bowie, as the point guard, didn't stop the basketball. He missed that before there was any kind of contact with Ubo. Ubo was actually trying to get out of the way.
Leon Rice not happy, obviously. Washington hits a free throw. I think the official's giving Leon a little more rope than he normally would.
Yeah, I've known him for quite some time, and he's got a great personality. Normally, he's not that animated with the officials, but I think he's got every right to be after that call.
Boy, you can see neither team shooting it with any consistency right now. And a foul inside.
Only the 4th on New Mexico. There's a ways to go before they can take advantage and get to the bonus.
All right, here's another look. Better angle.
That's a no call.
R.J. Keene back in for Boise. Degenhart, deep three, got it. Seven for Degenhart, his first three. 2-point game. Dent on the mismatch. Pocket pass, Nelly Jr. Joseph. It's a block. Boy, Ubo and Stanley are both in some foul trouble right now.
Tyson Degenhart, the senior, chasing the all-time scoring record, getting a lot closer with that three. Bracket week presented by Kubota.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Kubota. Together we do more. By Werner, the official ladder of NCAA March Madness. Reach new heights. And by AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
So who's it going to be this year in the Mountain West? Semifinal Friday, 1 seed New Mexico, 5 seed Boise State, 2-point game, and a wonderful matchup later on tonight with Colorado State and Utah State. Tyson Degenhart, we've been talking about his chase for the scoring lead all time at Boise State. Anthony Drimmick was a terrific Aussie, and Beard was just such a force in the low blocks.
Well, Degenhart moved in to the starting lineup about 10 games in as a freshman, hasn't looked back since. And those type of graphics are things that are becoming rarer and rarer. A high-level player staying at the same school for all 4 years.
Amazingly, he's had only 1 game of 30 points or more in his entire career, yet he's going to set probably the all-time record. And that was at the expense of New Mexico the last time they met, 32.
Well, he's a tremendous teammate. He is the consummate team guy. If it takes him scoring 12 to put his team in the best position to win, he'll take it. If he has to look to score more, he will. But if you ask the coaching staff, he has been an unbelievable joy to coach.
Cardenas throws it away. Washington driving. Over Meadow, and it goes. First turnover for Cardenas, and it's a costly one.
He only had 3 turnovers last night against San Diego State, who pressured him full court nearly the whole 40 minutes. I would expect him to play close to that today.
Boise State's offense, that's going to stay with Boise State. Boise State's offense did not look great when Cardenas was off the floor.
Well, Bowie's got a lot of potential, but he's more of a scorer as opposed to a point guard. It doesn't come natural to him to get into angles to create something for a teammate or even just to enter into a set.
And Cardenas endured a real beating yesterday. That physical San Diego State defense was on him all night. And he hit 4 big threes. He misses a 3 there. Rebound, putback, won't go. And New Mexico has it. Ubo missed from in tight.
Have to make those easy opportunities. You work so hard on the offensive glass to create it. Got to finish it.
Evan, you got more?
Yeah, I mean, the term physicality is synonymous with this league, but especially for Boise State coming off that San Diego State win yesterday. But New Mexico, they're comfortable in that style of game, too, not just fast-paced.
Dent! His first points.
Missed his first 4 shots from the field, but too good of a player. You give him an open look, he's going to knock it down.
Like that. Knocked into the seats almost.
Well, Donovan Dent needed an open one to get him going. A score like that, he can get going in a hurry. But a terrific weak side block from Nelly Jr. Joseph.
Biggest lead for New Mexico. They are a team of runs. They've had a record-setting year of runs of 10 points or more.
They've had 25 of those on the season, but for Boise State, they were in a similar position yesterday. Ended the half on a 6-0 run, started the second on a 7-0, which really gave them the ability to turn the corner last night.
An 8-0 run here. Degenhart kicks. Cardenas back to Degenhart. Shot clock's down. Terrific drive and finish. And Degenhart with 9. And that ends an 8-0 run for New Mexico. Dance over Cardenas. Amsio blocked by Keene.
Keene just makes all the little plays and the difference on the defensive end of the floor.
Carmichael, the three-point shooter. Bottom of your screen is 0 for 4, and that's an issue for Boise State. Meadow misses badly. Dent to the races. Meadow, and he's fouled to get to the free throw line.
Meadow may have been bailed out there on that drive. He had an opportunity to kick to the weak side. I made the comment earlier, when he catches it and attacks the rim, he is solely focused on the rim. Boise State's going to need some production from he and Carmichael if they're going to prevail tonight.
Borovichinen with his hands up, his second foul. During this month of March, CBS Sports celebrates Women's History Month, honoring the role of women, inspiring generations to move forward. Andrew Meadow, whose hair and goggles were a big hit in college basketball last year, cut his hair middle of the season. Brings the Broncos back within 6. Degenhart got a hand on it. Keene looking for trailers. Broncos really don't have options that can create their own shots.
Still have a 2-for-1 opportunity, though, if you go quick. And probably no time for it now.
Final half-minute, first half. Meadow, the most aggressive so far offensively. Keene a drive, stops, 4 seconds to shoot. Cardenas gets loose, gets it up, and a shot clock violation.
Leon Rice would like to have that possession back. That's one thing, unfortunately, you don't see much of in the college game, of being able to utilize a 2-for-1 situation there.
Now New Mexico can play for the last shot. Dent had 25 yesterday in the quarters against Cardenas. Lost the ball. Meadow got to get it off. He does, and it's way too strong. Neither team functioning in that last minute in the half court.
Sloppy offensive possessions for both teams will be addressed at halftime.
34-28. The 1 seed New Mexico, the 5 seed Boise State. And let's go down to Evan Washburn.
Mustafa, how did your defense as a group fuel you in that first half?
It's everything against teams like this. They play hard. We got to bring it on every possession in defense, and that fuels our offense.
What do you guys have in store for the second half as you try and get to a championship game?
Keep playing the same way. Keep playing hard. Run them out the gym and make them tired. That's the plan.
Thanks for the time.
Yeah, thank you.
The Finn, Mustafa Amsil. 1 seed New Mexico. 6-point halftime lead. Semifinal Mountain West coming up after these messages. AT&T at the half. You're watching college basketball on CBS Sports Network. From Las Vegas, you're watching Bracket Week, presented by Kubota. Mountain West Conference semifinal Friday. This game really flowed for the first 10 minutes, and it was a slugfest from there on. Defensive takeover by both Boise State and New Mexico. Rich Waltz, Dan Dickow, Evan Washburn joins us shortly. This was unlike any of the 2 games they've played this year, this first half.
Yeah, the first game, New Mexico may have played their best game of the year en route to a blowout win. And then in Boise, the return matchup, it was the Tyson Degenhart show with 32 points and the emergence of freshman Pearson Carmichael. Today has been a mixed bag for both teams, honestly.
Well, for Degenhart, he's the heart and soul of this team. He's not missed an NCAA tournament in his career. They've gone to 3 straight, and the senior wants one more game after this. Donovan Dent doing what he does best.
Create for others. 4 assists in that first half. And when you share the ball, many times the ball returns to you. Dent knocks down the 3 there. Expect him to be more aggressive offensively in the second half.
I think this shows how underappreciated New Mexico's defense is. They're 20th in defensive efficiency in the country. 2 of 14, Boise State. From 3, we check in with Evan Washburn.
Rich just spoke with Leon Rice. He felt like in that first half offensively, they got sped up. We know that they're okay getting out and running in transition offensively, but in the half court, just getting sped up based off of what New Mexico is doing defensively. He also added the shooters got to shoot, specifically Carmichael and Meadow. They were 0 for 8 in that first half. And lastly, guys, as the team took the floor, the players, the message that they were audibly saying, we have to play desperate. They know what's on the line.
Nelly Jr. Joseph a steal. And bucket.
Well, with Omar Stanley having 3 fouls in 3 minutes, Ubo gets the nod to start here in the second half. He has got to hold that seal on that reversal pass from Degenhart.
Carmichael was 0 of 4 from 3. Degenhart, baseline drive. Cardenas, corner, Meadow, 3. That's not happening for Boise State tonight either. Meadow's just 1 of 7. 0 of 5 from 3. Cardenas, try it again. Got it.
He needed that one in the worst way. Missed his first 5 threes of the night. But you can't lose your concentration or your confidence. Got to let it fly when you're open.
Donovan Dent, 5 points to go with those 4 assists. 2 of 7 from the field. On seal. Good tip there by Ubo to Degenhart for the rebound. Cardenas steps into a 3. He had 4 of them last night in the quarterfinal win over San Diego State. Washington over Cardenas.
When he plays well, it is tough on New Mexico's opponents. They are undefeated when True Washington scores 10 points. He has 8 now on the night.
Where are the points going to come from for Boise State?
Well, the last 3 from Meadow was a good sign, but Degenhart's got to get going a little bit more and be aggressive, but so does Pearson Carmichael and Cardenas.
True Washington.
Using that strength against Cardenas to get him off balance, and then a little extra motion, letting Cardenas know he's too small.
Washington there getting his first personal foul. Who goes 73% from the line. We check in with Evan.
Yeah, guys, we know the stakes of this game, but as Dan just laid out, it's starting to get a little chirpy here on the floor as you got the 2 small going in at half. There was some talking back and forth, Dent involved in that. As the, again, game heightens, who's going to be able to control those emotions and channel them properly? It'll be worth watching.
And Evan, sometimes chirpy leads to chippy on the floor. Dent. His mid-range game is good as well.
That's just a tremendous job attacking the closeout of Carmichael. Not a great 3-point shooter, although he's respectable, so you have to close out. But he's got all the mid-range stuff you could want, as well as the finish package from a point guard.
Open for a 3, and Ubo, who was just 3 of 15 from distance before that shot, hammers it home.
That's one of those no. Okay, good shot, big fella.
I'm Seal, and a nice first half. A rolling hook drops. Lead back to 6. Broncos took 43s yesterday. Do not adjust your set. 43s. They hit 11 of them. Tied a school record for attempts. And they've thrown up 18 so far in this one. Clock is down. Degenhart in trouble. Ball's tipped. 1 to shoot. That's it.
And this is where not having a real vertical big who can catch, like Nelly Jr. Joseph on the other side, really hurts you with 1 on the shot clock when you probably need to throw something at the rim. Otherwise, it's got to be a quick catch and shoot.
Lob, Degenhart, and a shot clock violation. Leon Rice in close proximity to the official. What do you think?
Amzil got him a little bit. I'm not sure if it's enough to be called a foul with these stakes and with only 1 on the shot clock.
8th turnover for Boise State. Nelly Jr. Joseph. 14 and 18 yesterday. It's Degenhart trying to defend him in the blocks. And Degenhart with a reach. What's at stake in this game and what's at stake tonight? Okay, we're going to see Utah State and Colorado State next. 9 seed from Jerry Palm. That's today for Utah State, New Mexico. Last 4 in for Boise State and San Diego State. Colorado State is last 4 out, and that's an upgrade for them. And a miss on a short one from Junior Joseph.
Amzil's doing a really good job guarding Degenhart. They tried to find him with an early seal over the top, but Amzil in the right position.
Cardenas, Meadow from the corner. They need points from Meadow. Bumped, and he'll get to the line. And a timeout in Las Vegas. Not for the meek. Physical. New Mexico and Boise State. You're watching Bracket Week, presented by Kubota. Semifinal number 1. The 1 seed New Mexico, the 5 seed Boise State, 42-36, 4 minutes in. And here comes Colorado State, the hottest team in the Mountain West. An 8-game win streak. Nick Clifford has got buckets in that bag. With CBS Sports Network's coverage of the Mountain West Conference Tournament continues. Utah State, Colorado State here in Las Vegas. Title game tomorrow on CBS. Andrew Catalon, Steve Lapis on the call for that. Meadow with the free throw. 1 avenue for points for Boise State. Free throw shooting, 78%. That's about a top 20 mark in the country.
And if this game gets physical and it becomes a trip to the free throw line time and time again, I think that becomes advantage Boise State.
And of course tomorrow, Evan Washburn continues yeoman's work. He's worked every telecast of this conference tournament.
Great defense from Keene, not allowing Washington to get downhill with his left hand.
Shot clock down. You don't say that often with the Lobos. Dent falling away. Keene has the rebound. 4-point game. I mean, Boise State is shooting 37% right now. That's the bad news. The good news is they're only down by 4. And New Mexico is down to 40% from the field. 2 first-team all-conference guys squaring up, and Degenhart buries a 3 over Junior Joseph.
Terrific job on the face-up from Degenhart. Little jab step, loosen the defense, raise up over the top. He's a better shooter from 3 than his numbers dictate.
Wow, Washington with a great pocket pass and a tip off the Amzil miss. That's Nelly Jr. Joseph's bucket. Closing in on another double-double, 14.6 rebounds. Foul a hold as Meadow went through the lane. Third team foul on New Mexico.
Nobody with New Mexico outside of maybe Borovichinen with 3 fouls is in any danger of foul issues. On the flip side for Boise State, Omar Stanley picked up 3 in only 3 minutes of action, and he would really be a help with how good Junior Joseph is on the glass.
The pick and roll has not been there, and it was in Boise State's win against the Lobos. Meadow in a collision, 3 to shoot. Stanley missed the dunk and the follow. There's a foul. New Mexico wants a shot clock violation. That's what Den is asking, but I think he hit the rim on his first attempt. Let's see. Yes, ball hit the rim. That's why the clock reset. So Stanley gets 2. A lot of close games this year for Boise State, and a couple of real heartbreaking losses.
Yeah, the 2 that come to mind were final possessions at Utah State as well as at Colorado State.
Rebounding for Boise State starting to take effect. Degenhart again missed the 3. +7 are the Broncos on the board. Washington. Dent and Cardenas with a reach. So close on all of these. And these were road games, and they played so well down the stretch. This, of course, was the Boston College last-second shot, neutral floor. This was Ian Martinez, a 4-point play with 7 seconds left and a loss at Utah State. This was Jalen Lake, buzzer beater. Those would have been 2 impactful wins. Meadow blows up a screen before the shot. Amseel went down. I mean, they get one of those wins, and that changes certainly their net and possibly their spot right now projected.
Meadow
last
runs
4 in
directly through the chest of Amseel. I don't think they will be looking at this as a possible flagrant 1, but you never know these days in college basketball. They want to get it right. So yeah, the play is under review. I mean, yeah, that's just a physical defensive play going through the screen with contact. I don't think that should be anything more than a common foul.
Are you concerned about the left arm extended?
The previous play is under
wouldn't
review
think so at all.
to see if the shooter is in the act of shooting when the off-ball foul occurred.
Oh, so they're not looking at flagrant. Nice to have the official announcement. They're just looking to see if he was shooting when the foul was occurring or after the foul. Nope.
It should be before the catch, so no basket for New Mexico. But to go back to those close losses you mentioned about Boise State, that Utah State game would have been a quad 1 win. That Colorado State game would have been a quad 1 win. Had they gotten one of those, you're now talking about a team that's probably not on the bubble.
After review, the shooter's not in the act of shooting when the off-ball foul occurred. It'll be New Mexico ball on the side.
Meadows' first foul. The one component that Boise State is missing this year is consistent three-point shooting. The guy that delivered it last year was that man's son, Max Rice, who was a prolific three-point shooter, who had some big, big nights. Folks in Albuquerque know about that.
Part of being a big shooter in big games is not being afraid of the moment. Max Rice lived for that moment And that's something I think Carmichael has a chance to grow into over the course of his career.
Dent steps through and scores. And one.
Showing off a little bit of the creativity. There's a reason he reminds me of Rod Strickland, former longtime NBA point guard. His tight handle, his ability to change directions in space, but more importantly, his ability to finish with either hand.
That's so smart of the Lobos and Richard Pitino to get Dent switched off on Stanley with 3 fouls. Stanley picks up his 4th.
Well, he's a tough cover for a guard, let alone a big, when you get forced into a switch and you're out on an island. But a lot of that responsibility falls on the other 4 Bronco defenders to close the gaps and not give Dent any type of angle to the rim.
Pearson Carmichael is off the bench. 3-point threat, but he's 0 of 4 in this one. Let's see if the Broncos can find him some shots.
Nice
entry,
pass.
Degenhart gets in and under and scores.
That's a heck of a finish, but it's also a great pass from Cardenas. Patiently waited for Degenhart to get in space. The Lobos have done a tremendous job defensively, taking away the pocket pass, which is where the Broncos really excelled in that last matchup in Boise.
Seal misses. Keene the rebound. Broncos feel like they've got some numbers here. Carmichael. He has long distance range, but he's just a freshman, a true freshman who was redshirting until about 10 games in, and they pulled the red shirt. Meadow, high arcing shot, tipped by Keene, fresh possession. That's a foul, Washington. With 8 on the shot clock, 15 foul for New Mexico. 2 fouls on True Washington.
That's a close one. That's a 50-50 play there. Degenhart has to hold that seal a little bit better, but also kind of a lackadaisical pass from Carmichael, especially when you got a great defender like True Washington guarding your intended receiver.
They're really trying to get Carmichael some looks, but Dent is covering him right now. Degenhart catch, ball fake, bucket.
Such patience on the collect. Gets Applehans up out of his feet. Becomes an easy 2 points for Degenhart.
Just the 3rd tie this game.
Wow.
Nelly Jr. Joseph, and it was Dent who found him.
I mentioned Cardenas' patience. Previous possession, that had patience written all over it from a point guard in Dent.
Cardenas in a crowd. Nice cut by Keene. Late clock. Cardenas trying to create off his knee, turnover, and a timeout.
We've got a heck of a game here in the Mountain West. The Stars, are they going to continue to shine, pulling their team to a victory? Degenhart, Nelly Jr. Joseph, Andrew Meadow, or will it be Donovan Dent? Don't go anywhere.
Basketball left in this one. A lot of basketball left in Vegas with Utah State, Colorado State after this one. Make sure you tune in to the 2025 Reese's College All-Star Game presented by Walmart. That's on April 4th, live, 4:30 Eastern, right here on CBS Sports Network. Right here in Las Vegas, Tyson Degenhart is just 1 point away from the record, 2 points away from holding the all-time leading scorer record at Boise State, and I can guarantee you he has no idea where he is right now in terms of that. It's all about getting to tomorrow, to the championship game. Applehans off the bench, misses the 3. Keene has the rebound.
But that's what Applehans does. 63 of his 78 field goal attempts from the year are from beyond the arc.
Evan Washburn?
Yeah, well, Degenhart was the theme of that last huddle for New Mexico, along with toughness. And it's a reminder, guys, they got access to a tablet of video, and they were using that to show the players how they want to handle the ball screen defense with Degenhart. Really trying to get down to the schematics of how to limit his opportunities in the paint.
Thank you, Evan. One of the issues with the pick and roll, ball screens, any of that stuff, if you can't shoot threes, man, that makes everything else tough, dense to the bucket, and stretches the lead to 4.
Well, Dent's got the creativity as well as the freedom to reject the ball screen there. Doesn't use it, is able to get downhill to finish off the glass.
Dan, Boise State's 5 of 21 from 3. Degenhart, oh, what a catch, and what a pass by Cardenas. And that's the record, the all-time leading scorer in Boise State history. How did he get that pass?
It was such a small window that Cardenas was able to deliver it. Terrific catch and finish to break the record from Degenhart.
Dent starting to heat up. He's got a dozen now. Amseal, the shot fake, goes in hard and missed the shot, but gets the follow. Huge contingent from New Mexico here. That's a foul on Amseal, who kind of stumbled into Degenhart. 16 foul, New Mexico.
That's a tough matchup for Amseal, especially when Degenhart gets the ball in the low block. Did everything he could there. Too much leaning on him leads to a foul.
Timeout on the floor. Semifinal number 1. A 4-point lead. There's the entry. There's the record. .9:18 left. Mountain West semifinal. New Mexico a 4-point lead. Boise State 49 points up there right now. Tyson Degenhart has passed Tanaka Beard. He either is going to have to score 30 or 35, or they're going to need points from somebody else if Boise State's going to win this game. That's what it feels like.
They very well could need 30 or more tonight to advance to the title game. He's been great, 18 points, 8 of 11 from the field, and they've come in different ways. But when you look at the rest of the Broncos, a combined 8 of 30 from the field, while Degenhart is that 8 of 11 that I mentioned. Someone else needs to pick up the slack because he's doing everything he can to advance.
He had 32 in the win over New Mexico, but he had help that night too. Remember, Pearson Carmichael had 21. Little pick and roll there. Oh, getting it up and in is Ubo, who's back in the ball game. And Leon Rice, Tim Duryea, their offensive coordinator, drawing up a nice play during the timeout. Dance, baseline. Ubo has the rebound.
His ability to change speeds and then stop is impressive. He's not the fastest point guard out there, but he changes directions, changes speeds, always keeps the defense off balance, and you add that with his creativity, makes him such a tough cover.
Dent Cardenas matchup here. Cardenas doubled. Degenhart 3. Rims out. Ubo! Count it!
Well, you had just mentioned they need help from someone else. Ubo off the bench, a couple buckets. This time, a chance at the three-point play. Works his way to inside position on the glass. Takes the contact. Gives the bench a little smile. We'll see if he'll be smiling after this next free throw attempt.
Nelly Jr. Joseph with the foul. His first. Broncos had a 2-point lead back in that first half. That's just the third lead change in this game. They've been chasing New Mexico up until now. Borovicinen has his miss.
Meadows got to do a better job after the contest, staying in an area he could track down the rebound.
Borovician steps through, missed the shot, battle for the boards. And it's a held ball. Arrow stays with New Mexico. A lot at stake here. Trip to the championship game tomorrow on CBS. And certainly NCAA tournament implications. We are in Vegas and the Mountain West. A one-point game here in Vegas. Catch more of the madness tomorrow, 8:30 Eastern, Conference USA title game. Who's going to punch the ticket, get to the big dance? It's on CBS Sports Network. It's chalk. Dan Dickau, 1 seed Liberty, 2 seed Jacksonville State. I'm going to check in with Evan Washburn.
Really fun to listen into that Boise huddle, and they can sense the moment right now, guys, and the momentum shifting the direction. Not just the smiles, but the energy coming from that group, knowing that three-minute stretch here is going to be so critical for them, and as you would imagine, the focus, all about rebounds.
Nelly Jr. Joseph blocked. Hey, Evan, you had a report earlier about the physicality of yesterday's game for Boise State. Yep. And the question, as we watch this great play by Ubo, the question was whether they could sustain that same stuff for 40 minutes. You sense they can?
Yeah, and I think there was a lull there late in that first half, and they've recaptured it here, thanks in large part to the all-time leading scorer, Tyson Degenhart.
Shot clock down. Amsio doubles and fouls. That's it. For New Mexico, a possession that looked like it wasn't going to end well.
The shot clock was winding down. Degenhart was in position for the double.
And that's his third, Dan.
And they pre-rotated, so they were in good position to force a contested shot at the end of the clock. But one thing to keep in mind, Boise State held San Diego State last night to 0 field goals in almost the last 10 minutes of the game.
Washington, difficult shot, tip, out of bounds. Boise State ball. Amsio took a swipe at it. Tough to tell. Broncos are shooting just 41% from the field. Lobos are shooting 40% from the field. Degenhart, no whistle. Ubo, a three. Oh, he hit another!
Why not? 3 threes on the entire year coming into tonight. He's hit 2 in the last few minutes.
Boise State's biggest lead is 4. Under 7 minutes left. Let's see if Donovan Dent can get it rolling. Washington was out of bounds.
Boise State is beginning to isolate Degenhart. He creates the attention. Ubo gets into an open area, knocks it down.
A career high 17 for Emmanuel Ubo. Boise has grabbed the lead. 8-0 run, and Boise State up 57-53. Emmanuel Ubo, a career high 17.
Well, we were wondering what other Bronco was going to step up, and it has been not the ones we were expecting. Instead, it was Emmanuel Ubo, career high 17 points. He's been spectacular, in particular in the second half. 5 of 7, including 2, honestly, rare threes.
Yeah, he's 3 of 15 coming into this game. Also 3 blocks, 5 rebounds. You see the run.
This is where New Mexico, their ability to pressure the ball, you expect them to keep that up, force turnovers.
One thing to keep in mind about Richard Pitino and New Mexico, they have had some terrific comeback wins this year. They've had to come back 5 times in games in the Mountain West Conference, and they finished with a 17-3 record. They are the regular season champs for a reason.
Great trap.
Meadow dribbled it away. Nelly Jr. Joseph with a steal. Dent gets a screen. Amsio short on the 3. Remember, he hit a couple early, and a rebounding foul. This is going to go against Boise State.
I think it was on R.J. Keene. It would be his second. And honestly,
yep, and
that's not a bad foul because Nelly Jr. Joseph gets it. It's an easy putback, too.
It's almost a hook and hold.
Could be, although we haven't really seen that call much this year. I know a few years back they were real focused on it.
It's going to stay with New Mexico, 15 to shoot. If you're just joining us, this is a terrific matchup. Semifinals, they split in the regular season. New Mexico wiped Boise out in Albuquerque. Boise battered New Mexico up in Idaho. Dent driving, looking for space. Lost the ball. Degenhart has it. Dent goes down and is back up.
Got numbers if they can take advantage.
Degenhart. It has been a grind in the half court for Boise State all game long. Dent with a foul. It's his first. And of course, this is Jerry Palm. This is today. Boise State last four in. Good news for the Mountain West. San Diego State is still in the last four in. And later on tonight, Colorado State and Utah State. Colorado State has popped up on Jerry's first four out. New Mexico and Utah State are both 9 seeds in Jerry Palm's brackets, which are updated every morning. And you'll find them on CBSSports.com.
And we'll have Colorado State and Utah State next. Colorado State, honestly, one of the hottest teams in the country. 8 in a row, 12 of their last 14. A very good offensive team that started to guard really well at the end of the year.
You mentioned the stretch of defense against San Diego State for Boise State yesterday. New Mexico hasn't scored in 4 minutes. It's a 10-0 run now.
They have to be aware of Donovan Denton pick and rolls as well as Junior Joseph on the glass.
True Washington, a clean look. Nelly Jr. Joseph, free throws.
That's one of the 2 areas I said you have to be aware of. Junior Joseph, relentless on the glass. His 8th rebound of the night. 4 of those being on the offensive end of the floor.
Ubo's foul, his 3rd. Degenhart has 3.
We've talked about how good of a free throw shooting team Boise State is at nearly 79%. New Mexico struggled in that area at times this year, under 70%.
1 of 2, 5-point game. Still a lot of clock.
Just enough pressure from Washington. If Cardenas makes a mistake, Washington's there to make him pay.
6 points, 10 assists, 2 turnovers for Cardenas. This is a team that thrives on steals in New Mexico. They have 6 in this game. Offensive foul. And if it's Ubo, it's his 4th. That's costly.
He has played spectacularly well. It's definitely a foul, but you have to be smarter in that situation as you go to set a screen. You got to make sure you're stopped, and then he slides to the right at the last minute. Amzil, a nice job of selling it, but overall, a good call.
Washington, I think Degenhart got a hand on the shot and then blasts Washington to the floor. Degenhart's 4th personal foul.
Leon Rice now in a decision-making mode. Does he try to sneak 1 minute around the under 4 media timeout for Degenhart? Or does he maybe give him one more offensive possession and see if he can get him out at that point before he potentially picks up his 5th?
Javen Buchanan is a guy that could see some minutes here, though he hasn't played much tonight and hasn't scored. But so far, Leon Rice is leaving Degenhart in. 2 big free throws by True Washington. Crowd comes to their feet. Lobo fans want to stop. Bronco fans, a bucket. 14 to shoot.
Great defense from True Washington. Cardenas not able to deliver to Stanley, who slipped that pick and roll. Had he caught it cleanly, it would have been a wide open layup or dunk.
Degenhart.
Shot clock going down. Got to get it up.
Cardenas doubles. No look pass to Stanley for the bucket. Whoa!
Unbelievable awareness of the shot clock from Cardenas.
Look to the left, a bullet to the right, and a bucket for Boise State. And the lead back at 5. Washington kicks. Dent a 3. Got it! Player of the year in the Mountain West. An enormous shot. 2-point ball game.
The 2 times he's been left open in catch-and-shoot situations, he's delivered.
Feels like all of Albuquerque is here. A good portion of Boise. Degenhart, clean 3, short, tipped.
It's R.J. Keene one more time, extra effort. Back tap, allowing Degenhart to corral it.
Keene has 11 rebounds. Degenhart inside, fouls, gets to the line. Everybody take a deep breath. Timeout on the floor. Boise State has grabbed the lead. Can they hold on to it? Cardenas to Stanley. Player of the year, Donovan Dent. You're watching Bracket Week, presented by Kubota.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
All right, let's see who's reaching new heights. Brought to you by Werner Ladder. This is an easy one. That's the record setter, all-time leading scorer in Boise State history. Gorgeous assist from Cardenas. Tyson Degenhart and Boise State are on top, but they're in foul trouble. Degenhart in particular has got 4. You see the comparison? Dent's gone for 15. Degenhart for 18.
Well, with Degenhart having 4 fouls, I would expect whoever he is guarding, New Mexico runs a pick and roll with Donovan Dent handling, trying to put him in a position where maybe they can draw that 5th.
2 free throws. Yeah, and then, 2 other bigs, Ubo, Stanley, they have 4. Buchanan is waiting to check in for Boise State.
I would expect him to come in for Degenhart. Offense, defensive substitutions would be my guess from here on out. Or at least the next few possessions.
New Mexico averages 82 points a game. Boise State's defense has been terrific. Good entry, return, Dent, another 3, another bucket, another big one.
Well, Andrew Meadow is late on the rotation, allowing Dent a clean catch and shoot. Not a great 3-point shooter, but tonight a perfect 3 of 3 beyond the arc.
Dent's got 13 in the second half. Meadow a 3. Long rebound. Washington has it. New Mexico can take the lead. We're under 3 minutes in the semifinal in the Mountain West. Nelly Jr. Joseph. Dent driving. Falling away. No. Long rebound. Meadow tips it. Buchanan has it. Bronco ball.
This is where it helps to have an experienced point guard in Alvaro Cardenas. 11 assists on the night. He seems to make the right play decision time and time again.
Cardenas Leon Rice wants a timeout. He wants to get Degenhart into the game. It comes with 15 on the shot clock. As a result, the Broncos have 1 timeout left, 2:15 left. Coming up next, join our college basketball experts in the studio, inside college basketball. We'll talk about all things conference tournaments, impactful games all across the sport tonight. Highlights, analysis of this matchup, maybe a preview of Utah State, Colorado State. It's all coming up. CBS Sports Network. Bracket Week continues. Colorado State is the hottest team in this conference. They've won 8 straight. They have popped into Jerry Palm's last 4 out. They can certainly help themselves by taking down a really good Utah State team. Utah State 37 in the net. Here we go. Degenhart's in for the last 15 seconds of this possession. He'll pop out. 5 to shoot. Degenhart will take the shot. Tip! Good! Stanley!
He's battled foul trouble all night, but comes up with a big offensive putback there.
Now Degenhart has to play defense with his 4 fouls.
Interesting, they now have Keene at 6'8" on Donovan Dent.
Junior Joseph leaning in on Stanley and scores! Tough to stop that man.
Tough to stop when you're not in foul trouble like Stanley with 4 fouls.
Junior Joseph, 19 points, 8 rebounds. 2-man game, Cardenas and Degenhart. Cardenas driving, tried to get it back to Degenhart. Stolen, Borovichinen. Keene fouled, no. Dent with a follow. He stuffs it home. New Mexico grabs the lead. 1:08 left. Degenhart to Meadow. Tipped again. Cardenas saves it. Meadow. 3 on the way. Got it! Oh, what a shot! Broncos back on top. 45 seconds left.
1 of 8 until that big 3 from Meadow. No hesitation.
Ball is in Dent's hands. Splits the double. Hangs in the air. Missed the shot. Degenhart the rebound. Bronco ball. And a foul on New Mexico. 27 seconds left. Boise State by 2 and a timeout. Wow.
Unbelievable sequence. Keene does his best job to alter the shot. No other Boise State Bronco gets back. Dent, the anticipation of the miss before Andrew Meadow, after struggling with no hesitation, knocks down what is probably the biggest 3 of his life.
It almost felt like Keene was trying to foul.
Yeah.
Before, and I mean, I started to call it a foul. There was no whistle, but Dent alertly followed the shot. And then Meadow with an enormous answer. Now, Boise State's going to come down to the other side and shoot free throws. 68-66.
And we've talked about how good of a free throw shooting team Boise State is. Nearly 80% on the season.
Oh, you know what? I saw the initial call of a foul. It's actually a timeout, so there's no free throws here. So a little full court pressure, you would think, from New Mexico.
In New Mexico, one of the best teams in the country in regards to creating turnovers. So you anticipate that they will try to trap that first pass, maybe run through the passing lane, try to get a steal. So if you're Boise State, you have to have great spacing. You've got to set good screens, come to the basketball, and expect pressure.
New Mexico leads the Mountain West and are one of the best in the country at stealing the basketball.
You cannot run the baseline because it's not after a made basket, so Keene has to be stationary.
Long throw, Meadow catch, Meadow dunk! Oh, goodness!
What a gutsy inbounds play from Boise State.
Down 4 now. New Mexico needs points. Dent on the right side. Driving to the bucket. Rising. No whistle. Or yes? Yes. That's a call. It's a foul.
Get another look at that baseline press break. New Mexico gets beat over the top. Andrew Meadow with the finish.
The foul is on Degenhart. No, it's on Keene.
It should be on Keene, yes.
So Degenhart survives. Keene's foul. Dent's free throw is off.
But it's a 2-possession game. One, if he makes this, Boise State again, expect pressure. So great spacing. Come to the basketball.
Dent hits the free throw. And a timeout for New Mexico. Well, you don't come to Vegas if you're not willing to gamble. And Boise State just did. I mean, look, the catch of the dunk is impressive. But the inbound pass from Keene was exquisite.
Well, usually in a situation like this, all you're trying to do is get the ball in bounds. Leon Rice rolls the dice, decided he's going to go for the home run.
Rambus-like.
Well, Andrew Meadow, after not shooting it particularly well throughout the night, has provided 2 huge shots. The dunk as well as the 3.
Right back in a similar spot. He can run the baseline here. Dent gets a hand on it. It's out of bounds. And it stays with Boise State.
And because it was deflected now, yes, you have to be stationary. Got to set a great screen and come to the basketball if you're Boise State.
They get a hand on it. Degenhart, is it tied up? It's a foul. Nelly Jr. Joseph. His 3rd. Degenhart is an 80% free throw shooter. He's 2 of 2 tonight. Misses the first.
Now the second one is important. Make it a 2-possession game regardless. New Mexico, get the ball off the floor as quickly as you can. If an easy early 2 presents itself, take it.
Four-point game. Now what's the equation?
Well, I still think there's time. If there's a good opportunity for a 2, you go for it. Get the ball off the floor as quick as possible. Boise State, I would expect to switch. They're showing a little 3/4 court trap now.
Dent bumped on the sideline, and that's not what Boise State needed. And that's a foul, sending Dent to the line, and not a lot of time escaped off the clock.
You're exactly right, and that is the one thing Boise State doesn't want to do in that situation. When you show 3/4 court pressure, a lot of times you relax because you think your teammate alleviates some of your responsibility, but Meadow doesn't cut that sideline off against a real good point guard, draws a foul.
Dent 3 of 4 from the line.
We're in the same situation. Boise State, you've got to have great awareness, spacing, inbounds the basketball, expecting pressure.
And if they don't pry it loose, expect a pretty quick foul to save as much clock. Keene running the baseline. Got to get it in. Doesn't have a timeout. Lobs it in. Degenhart has it. And Degenhart is fouled.
That is tremendous defensive pressure from New Mexico. Boise struggled to get it in bounds.
And remember, they don't have a timeout, so he was in trouble here. He nearly had that pass hit the back of the backboard. Had just cleared the glass. New Mexico needs him to miss at least one of the two. Lobos have life.
Make or miss. It's a it's a one-possession game. If he misses, you can still attack the rim. If he makes it, I think at this point you have to search out a three-point opportunity. Look for a drag screen in transition for Donovan Dent. But if you're Boise State, you got to match up. And if you switch, talk it out.
New Mexico has a timeout. Dent with the ball, down 3, final seconds. Gets the screen. Dent to the corner. Launches a 3. Missed it. Meadow the rebound. Cardenas outlet. Boise State has done it. Final sequence.
Pick and roll as we thought. A tremendous switch. Keene is right in the space of Donovan Dent, forcing the miss, which leads to the celebration for Boise State.
All Boise State talked about today before the game, one more game. That's all they wanted. One more game. They were down much of this game. They've come back, and they'll get one more game on CBS, 6 Eastern, tomorrow against the winner of Colorado State, Utah State. And a heartbreak for New Mexico. All right, Evan, take it away.
Yeah, we've been here before with this scene. Tyson, first of all, congratulations, all-time leading scorer in Boise State history. But more importantly, how would you describe the anxiety and pressure down the stretch in this game?
Oh, man, this felt like a tournament game. I mean, just the crowd here was incredible, and I'm just really, really happy to get the win with these guys. Let's go!
Similar to yesterday, the final 8 minutes, you guys grabbed control of this one. How?
We just stuck to our principles, and we really, really came together as a team, and we knew there was no way we were losing this game.
What's brewing with this group as you head into a championship tomorrow?
We're backs against the wall. We're ready to go for a championship tomorrow.
How about Andrew Meadow?
Oh, yeah. He works so hard, and to see him make that shot in the moment, that just shows you that the work is going to pay off no matter what.
It's fun to watch. Enjoy it. We'll see you in a few hours.
Thank you. See you tomorrow.
What a finish. That's just the first of 2 from Las Vegas. Second semifinals coming up. For Dan Dickow, Evan Washburn, our entire crew, I'm Rich Waltz. This is a presentation, CBS Sports Network, 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Boise State lives for one more game. Off to New York for Inside College Basketball.